Vidal, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets, and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Oh, how I missed you, plush 1010XL studio. Not that
yes.
Vegas wasn't nice, but it's so good to be back in Jacksonville, FLA.
It definitely is, and it's funny because we always say you don't need too many nights in Vegas because it is a lot. You're nonstop. Tommy was talking about your diet's ruined. I don't have a diet, so I don't worry about that part. But your normal routines of everything. But when it's also squished into 2 days, then it's even more chaotic because when you have a 24-hour travel day, it gets a little crazy.
All I know is this: if we went 30 years ago, we would have started going out at 10:30 at night instead of going to bed at 10:30 at night. 2 nights in a row, me and my brother like, what's going on? I'm like, hey, we started early, but what a great time. And Vegas is, a lot of fun. A lot of action out there. I'll tell you that, man. Still rocking and rolling out there, and we had a great time.
Yeah, thank you to Circa Resort and Casino. And if you are planning to go out for the Jags-Raiders game, definitely stay there. They've got, like we've talked about, restaurants all throughout. Yeah. And they're amazing when it comes to hospitality there as well. They take care of you.
The rooms are beautiful. Yeah. I mean, absolutely beautiful. It's a newer hotel. Yeah, you should definitely consider going to Circa. The pool's incredible. They got this massive scoreboard theater-like screen that's got all different sports on it. You can do anything and everything all throughout Circa.
The rules in Vegas, it feels like. That's what we will be back at end of October, beginning of November for the Jags-Raiders game. We'll have more details on that. But for people, because when I went last year, my hotel was on the side. You had the pool side this time, didn't you?
Yep.
So if you're on one side of the hotel, you have the pool and the DJ's going, and it's a little more, you kind of hear that. So I did that last year. This year I was on the mountain side, and it's a little quieter on that side. So just for people booking when it's time, you can say you want the mountains or the pool.
It's an active pool. Let's just say that.
Stadium swim is
it's
definitely
a very
alive.
active pool.
Yeah, I've been on the mountainside both times, just randomly. That when you book, I don't know if you can request that.
You can,
but
it'll ask you.
Good to know. So yeah, if you like to gamble, obviously Circa is a great place. They've got the sports book and they've got the casino as well.
Close to the stadium too, right?
Very close.
Right there. Beautiful stadium from the outside, man. Holy cow, it looked really great. But
and it's nice inside too. You'll find Allegiant Stadium. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
All right, so we found out last night, and then the trade was made official today that the Jaguars were trading Fred Johnson back to the Eagles, I should say, for a 7th-round pick. Yep. They signed him, and then we all thought he was at least competing at different spots along the offensive line, mostly the tackles, because he is a behemoth of a human being. But in the end, I don't think he was going to make the rosters, at least what this told me, that James Gladstone evaluated it, Tony Baselli, and certainly head coach Liam Cohen, and said, I don't think Fred's going to be on the 53. And so they at least were able to get something for him.
Yeah, and I think that I was never on board with the Fred Johnson thing in the first place. Yep. And I know, Tommy, you had been on the side of he should probably play right tackle more than left tackle. And so there had already been those conversations. But it is a kudos when we're talking about guys like Luke Fortner and Fred Johnson, who a lot of us didn't even have making the roster, and you getting something out of those. Yeah. That's a good thing. It is interesting in the evaluation of it. It's okay. You still need a the left tackle still has not been improved for a lot of people, and that's kind of where your mind goes now. That's the next conversation that we're going to be having is how much did they improve this offensive line, and I don't know the answer to that right now.
Well, I don't think Fred ever really threatened the left tackle position.
I don't either.
To break into the starting role,
which is a problem.
I think they wanted him
because
to.
Nobody loves the current left tackle, and you bring someone in who can't even pressure that person is I think a concern.
I thought he had a shot at right tackle. Yeah. I did, but they obviously see other things, and to get a 7th rounder, that's fantastic. By the way, I wanted just so I was clear, because I did a little research. I used Chat GPT, which I normally don't do, but I wrote in there. I said, how many 7th-round picks are added for big blockbuster deals, and they are added. So people might be like, 7th-round pick, who cares? No, those are when they come in handy is when you just need an extra 7th to get the deal to the table. Yeah. Right now, you're not going to take a 7th rounder and get a massive star player for that. You're going to have to get a 1st round and 2nd round, maybe give up a player, and then if you need something to add, sweeten the pot, you throw in a 6, you throw in a 7, or whatever the case may be. So if you get enough 7s and 6s, they do add up to tremendous value that you can go after and package and go after better players. So kudos to Gladstone for doing that. Again, I don't. If you really thought he was going to come in and compete, and maybe win the starting job, which I thought that was the idea with him and Chuma, right? Yeah. Like at least compete for it, and then let him go. I don't know, maybe he just missed on him. I mean, at least he got something for him. So I'm not bagging on it totally, but maybe you missed on the fact that maybe he wasn't that impressive and he wasn't really going to push anybody for the job.
Well,
you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. In the end, I think sometimes you get excited about the size of someone, right? When you're talking about the offensive line.
Absolutely.
And so you think, well, yeah, he has allowed some pressures and some sacks in other places, but get him into our system. And certainly their idea was, whether or not Fred Johnson was the solution, their idea was to make Walker Little and to make Anton Harrison feel like they are not automatically the left and right tackles. And I think that was the whole point, was to show that this is, you have to earn your job, right? Like the only person who doesn't have to earn his job, honestly, at least in their minds, is Trevor Lawrence. Maybe the edge guys for sure, but you know what I mean, as far as on the offensive side. Yeah. And I mean, we've seen it at safety, we've seen it at running back, we've certainly seen it at maybe not starting tight ends, but across the roster for the most part in training camp. I think they wanted these players to feel like they were being pushed, and that's the best way, at least, to get the best out of them through this part of the offseason.
I don't think anybody pushed Walker at all. Nobody ever replaced him as that first left tackle. All right. I mean, off season, all throughout camp, he was the number one left tackle. Like I said, he didn't threaten that position. It's fine. Listen, we wish him well. You know, good luck, and I'm glad we got a pick out of him. That hopefully means
he already took all his Jag stuff off his page, and it's like back in Philly.
Back to Philly.
That humidity probably was over. Also, spending all training camp down here. Yeah. But look, Jonah Monheim is currently your backup center. To Robert Hainsey, and potentially the future center, and you got him in the 7th round.
Yeah, right.
So
absolutely.
You can certainly find good players. I'm not saying all your 6th and 7th rounders.
We don't really know what Monheim is yet, and he beat out Luke Fortner, so I'm not really sure a lot of people think that's too high. But it is, like, if he turns out to be something. And the thing that we have learned from this is obviously we talk so much about James Gladstone and the Rams, and like there was obviously a lot of other pieces in that room making these picks and selections and drafts when it comes to the Rams. So it wasn't like it was Gladstone. But that is something that he's learned from, and that's what he's taken from. And they have been one of those organizations that have found those late round draft picks that have worked. I'd have to go through and see if any of their 7th rounders have. But I do think, to me, it's more so, to your point, Tommy, is you get those 7ths to package in things and move up. And there was several times, a lot of the times when it talks about Trent Baalke, by the way, he spent a 3rd on Fortner and a 3rd on Muma, who doesn't look like he's going to make it either. And their drafting ability was just so bad. And in addition to that, some years they would draft 13 players rather than trying to try and package and trade up. And that's something that I do think we'll see more of James Gladstone. Well, he'll use those other picks to accumulate and move up, and we'll see a lot more of that stuff with this regime, which I more so see this as that type of world, not thinking that they're going to find a starter in the 7th round next year.
Yeah, no, and look, it's good. It's good to get value. You didn't have to give up anything to take them or to get them. And you get something in return. So that must mean that Cole is on his way back, I hope. Or I would think they're adding somebody. I don't think they go in with 9. I don't know.
Maybe the Cole Van Lanen timeline is sooner than most people kind of thought.
Right, and hopefully that's the case, because I think he would push both sides for a shot at the title, but hopefully he can just come back healthy and be a part of whatever, not rotation, but be there, and then if needed, he'll jump
tackle.
in there.
I would imagine he's the swing tackle right now, and Patrick McCary is the right guard. It would be my guess, just based off of everything, but it's also more difficult to know because Wyatt Milam now is hurt. And so, if Cole Van Lanen isn't returning quickly, then I think they have to acquire another offensive lineman unless they're able to put guys that they like on the practice squad.
You know, all we heard, some of what we heard down in the Miami joint practice was that the right side of the line really got beat.
Collapsed,
McCary being one of them, and then whoever was the right tackle, Anton or Fred or whoever was, probably a mixture of it. So, that's a little concerning that the last time we've heard about our O-line is the right side struggle. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to struggle against Carolina. Obviously, we hope that's not the case, but now we just got to wait and see how they piece it all together. I think we have it down, right? Anton's going to be the right tackle, and what you said is the starting line. And we'll roll in with that, and obviously wish them the best. Yeah, you got to hope for the best. Look, here's the thing, man, and everyone's like, "Oh, you guys hate on them." It's not that. It's we want better than good. We want better than okay. We want better than average, and you got to be better than average.
I'd like 2 elite tackles. Tackles.
At least close to elite at the minimum, right? But not just average, not just okay.
Well, you've seen that, and because of that, you've seen a run game not work, and Trevor getting hurt, and Trevor. Yep. A lot of things kind of starting to regress from Trevor because of things that were playing off the offensive line. So, of course, you want better than that because you've seen what mediocre and what average has done or the lack of what it's done here in Jacksonville.
Not good enough.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Not good enough. But, yeah, we didn't see the starting offensive line, obviously, or starting offense at all against the Dolphins Saturday night. We did see the Dolphins starting offensive players.
Jeez.
Yeah. If I'm a Dolphins fan today, I'm a little concerned. So let's talk a little bit about that third preseason game. And also Tom has his takeaways on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
1010XL is committed to getting you closer to your favorite players. That's why we send Jags beat reporter Hayes Carlyon to bring you back one-on-one interviews in the locker room, unsealed by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday, the local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Kuhn Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is JJ with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call on Kuhn Flowers, they'll do it all.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
If you're playing fantasy football, you might want a little help. Get 1010XL's Fantasy Football Draft Guide with in-depth player bios and the top 32 rankings at every position. Get the guide at 1010XL.com and on all of the 1010XL social channels.
Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coating, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. No, you see, you get $150 in bonus bets after your first $5 bet hits.
Did somebody say hit?
Whoa, Ray Lewis? We were just saying if your bet hits.
Huh. You know I love a good form tackle.
We know, Ray. We know. Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
I-9 Sports covers the First Coast with all kinds of sports for kids ages 3 to 17. Fall and winter registration is open right now, like girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of co-ed programs in the Tri-County area to keep your kids active. And being part of a team creates great camaraderie and commitment. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay, sign up now for the fall and winter. It's all at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. That's i9sports.com.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time I hear Coldplay, I think about the
cheaters
Coldplay concert and that couple that got caught cheating, and I'm like, did that ruin Coldplay for me?
Maybe.
No,
it is hard not to picture that now, but I still love this song.
Yeah, it should make me laugh for sure. We were just chatting off air about Deantre Prince and how it looks like the Jaguars are going to move on from him, according to Tom Pelissero. So certainly Fred Johnson, like we talked about, the offensive lineman now with the Eagles, and then Deantre Prince, we'll see if someone wants to scoop him up. He was a guy that I think some people had making the roster. Other people didn't necessarily as a cornerback because that room not necessarily is like loaded, but certainly there are a lot of guys, whether it be a Buster Brown, he may go on IR. You've got Christian Braswell fighting to make the team too. And then you've got obviously the stalwarts in like a Tyson Campbell, a Jarian Jones, a Jordan Lewis, and of course Travis Hunter, who's probably going to be counted on this 53-man roster as a receiver, not a corner, but either way.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the reason we had the conversations of a guy like Deantre Prince making it, is just because that Travis Hunter not being counted. But I do think when you've seen, we've talked about the secondary and this offseason and how well a lot of them have looked. And we've talked about Braswell and how Liam Cohen made the comments about, the special teams side of it, and he needs to see more of that. My guess is that Braswell it was maybe those two were in talks, and Braswell, and this is just me assuming just because of the news with Prince. So I do think you have a room, though, that you can be confident in. You want to see Buster Brown healthy. I think that's something you want to see out there. But Jarian's looked really good, and I think that it's been fun. And even with Tyson Campbell being injured, too, and Buster Brown being injured, you've seen Braswell step in and make a lot of good plays. Jarian obviously has been holding down that side of the field where Tyson usually is, and what we've seen in practice and the little bit that you have seen in preseason games. But so I do think you have guys that can make plays, and they've been able to, with Coach Campanile, really kind of make it feel like, outside of that first game, obviously the first preseason game, it felt like things were a little chaotic. But after that, it does feel like things kind of settled down and guys knew their place. And this is with guys not playing where they're normally playing because of injuries, too.
Yeah, I thought Prince was a good cover guy. I mean, in practice, he didn't get a ton of opportunities. He was always third string or hovering around. I thought he made a good play on special teams. That typically helps against Miami. He had a nice tackle. It feels like they let him know now to see what's out there, and if nothing happens, we'll bring it back to the practice squad. He could be a good candidate for that. So, because they didn't release him with everybody else. That they're like, say, maybe it's out of respect or whatever it's out of. Like, hey, let's go see if you got anything out there, and if you do, great. And if not, maybe we bring you back, and we may need you. You never know. It's a long season, and you never know how guys stay healthy and not stay healthy and all that stuff. So, wish him well, man. I liked him. I thought he was a competitive guy. I thought he was really good in man. Like he seemed to be pretty sticky. Again, you just didn't see a lot of it, right? If you think back to camp, thinking of his number, and you're like, yeah, I saw him on occasion. He made a couple plays here and there, but it wasn't like
more that Braswell did.
Yeah, Braswell did. Yeah, Braswell definitely stood out,
especially like we said during practices. And I think we go more off of practices because we get to see the ones versus the ones.
Yeah,
right.
A lot longer than certainly we have in any of the preseason.
Which you bring up a great point, because I know everyone wants to move him out of here, right? But they're not just going to go by the game.
Right.
They're going to go by the entire, what he and his is going to be special teams. If he's better than people on special teams, they're going to keep him.
And
that's
the
what's
club
going to
on his
happen.
hand doesn't help him. At this point in time, yes, it's probably something that happened before. Certainly he had the hand wrapped when he first got here, so I don't know exactly how it happened, but either way, it's something that's unfortunate to this point because it's hard to play linebacker, Tom, I would imagine, as you're a former linebacker.
Yeah.
Hard to play with one of those hands wrapped.
Well, and listen, everyone that, is, making fun or saying, people overrun, open field tackles all the time. Trust me. I tried to do kill shots every time, and I landed up on my face, half the time. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with him, but it's not just what he did against Miami. They'll put that all together. And if he can help them on special teams, he may stick around. I think Combs is going to give him a run for his money. Although I saw Branson, man, I don't know if you guys – I got a chance to watch not all the game from Saturday night, but most of it, yesterday.
I watched it all yesterday,
Yeah, and, man, Combs got not only picked up and driven 10 yards, he got I think they dug a hole for him in the ground. He got up real quick. I felt bad for him. He just got caught. You know what happens?
Yeah.
You're trying to make a play, and the guy just got underneath him, and next thing you know, it was a whoo, getting thrown out of the club, like Gronk said. But he's really good in space, and he can play special teams. It's going to come down to that. Can you make plays in special teams? And that's where you find the last bit of your guys. You know what I mean? What did Liam say? I know 50. The last three, the big part is they got to be great special teamers in order to make the team.
I forgot to mention, by the way, thanks to one of our flights, you got earbuds.
I did.
Yeah, it's so exciting. Your own pair of earbuds. Mike Dempsey is going to be so
I feel very proud of my new earbuds. Let's see how long I can keep them.
Yes. Yeah. You might want to hand those off
just keep them here.
Yeah.
Just keep them in my office, Tommy, and we'll
There you go.
Exactly.
There you go. I need a little locker.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think that linebacker spot is difficult because you have, the traditional guys of Foye Oluokun, Ventrell Miller, Devin Lloyd. I wonder if Devin Lloyd is getting discussed in other NFL circles. I don't know if he's for sure on the 53-man roster.
let's just say he's out.
Okay.
Let's just say is it Kaiser?
Yep, Jack Kaiser is every draft pick, in my opinion. I think makes the team.
I think he makes the team.
I think Kaiser.
Yeah,
you're saying behind Lloyd. You wouldn't think of Ventrell.
You'd put Ventrell in front. I think
that's what I'm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Foye and Ventrell as your starting line.
Okay, he can play Will for sure.
Yeah. And then other guys
right.
on the team. Yeah, Jack Kaiser, Jalen McLeod, Dennis Gardeck. I don't know about Yasir Abdullah, but Gardeck 100%.
Him and Gardeck, are battling up.
Honestly, behind that, it's hard because I just feel like I personally haven't seen enough from Jalen McLeod or anything.
Exactly.
And and then behind that, Yasir Abdullah, I feel like I've seen way more from Abdullah than I have a guy like a McLeod or even some of the other ones. So to me, I would but this is obviously, I'm not making the roster, so it's harder for me to decide. But that's when it starts to come down to some of those names. The linebacker room is very interesting.
I feel like Abdullah's made more plays than Gardeck.
Yeah, that's what we barely
Gardeck.
he was hurt, so we didn't get to see much of him.
Correct. And also, speaking of that, Jalen McLeod, the reason we haven't seen a lot of him is he's week to week, as is Caleb Ransaw. But the linebacking core is interesting.
I tell you what, only if you can trade and get a good value. I'm not getting rid of Devin Lloyd. Let him play out his fifth year. He's still physical. He's still a thumper. He's good against the run. He can rush. I mean, I like Ventrell too. I do. I like him in space probably more, and he can cover better. But as far as a run stopper, and look. In PFF, I mean, everyone's blowing up the timeline on Twitter or X, right? Look, he's graded so high. He's graded so high. I don't know how they do all that stuff. All I go is by my eye test. And Devin Lloyd is very good against the run. And he's a physical backer. And if he could cover a little bit better, we wouldn't even be discussing anything negative about him. I also think he can rush. And I don't mean from the outside. I mean from over a guard and over a center. I think he's got an advantage there. I think he can blitz very well. By the way, Jack Kaiser can blitz very well. He's got closing speed. Which I like, and he can set it up. He doesn't have to cheat, to time up the snap. He waits for it and then goes. So that means he's got enough speed to get there. But man, I'm not ready to move on from Devin Lloyd. I don't think so.
I think that would be I just I'm wondering based off of if everyone keeps telling me that they love Branson Combs, well, at some point then you have to crunch the numbers and somebody or trim the fat in your words in college football. And so somebody's going to be on the way out. But to your point earlier, Taylor, about Coach Camp's defense, the blitzes that we've seen have been fantastic. And 4 out of the 6, thanks to Daniel Griffiths for this stat, 4 out of the 10 in the preseason came from non-defensive linemen, the sacks. And so you're talking about certainly moving guys around and sending guys that you wouldn't expect, and that's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, that's something that you have seen a lot in the NFC North the last few years, so Coach Camp's definitely bringing that with him, especially, again, like the Vikings. That's just their thing. They blitz everybody. They blitz a lot of their non-defensive linemen. And so that's the good thing about kind of the refresh in coaching coaching staff in general, upgrades are nice in general, and we want to see that. You have to see that happen this year, and with wins translated. But they're bringing so many different pieces with them, and I think that's what's fun, because it felt so mundane here when it came to it. So being able to see other guys, and that's what I remember Dempsey had one of his questions of the day. This was probably right after the draft, and he was asking, sack numbers, kind of what were you expecting from sacks, and how many sacks would you expect from not Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen? And I predicted a high number, because I was thinking that we're going to see more guys getting those sacks than we had previous years. We've talked a ton about the lack of sacks in general, but outside of those two guys, you're talking about, this guy gets 3 sacks. He has 1.5. And it was even with that, it was 4 or 5 people. I would expect that to be drastically different this year.
Yeah, especially with Eric Armstead moving inside. He's already a great, weapon going against guards in the league. So
yeah, like a Dewey, how many sacks can he get? Certainly,
they're showing the safety
Lloyd,
blitz.
if you're going to send, I think Lloyd could get a couple.
I think Lloyd could get at least 3 for sure. And look, they're sending the safety blitzes, so I like that. I like that you're aggressive. I mean, look, it's unless you got a front four that can really do some damage to the backfield, like really keep pressure on that QB, you got to bring more heat. Yeah. You can't let them sit back there. It's hard to cover these guys.
Yeah.
Hard to cover in man for a long time, hard to cover in zone. There's always a hole in zone. And if you don't disrupt the timing of that quarterback's throw with your rush, then you're not going to do anything. They're going to go right down the field on you. So I like the fact that he's aggressive. I would like to ask him, what's with the 3 and drop a 1 in the coverage, and you got 3 guys that aren't doing anything.
Are we just putting that on tape?
Are we throwing that around? Just throw them off a little bit,
Correct.
kind of like a change up. But no, I like especially after the first game, we're all like, man, I think. And look, again, in his defense, it was his first game called, against the Steelers. So he turned it around the next 2 games, and I look forward to going after Bryce Young. He's still a young QB, and young QBs get rattled really quick if you can get to them early. So hopefully they'll be able to do that.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to that matchup in general, I do think it'll be, we saw Bryce Young start to improve through last season, especially late last season. So it will be interesting to see, do you get that tail end of what Bryce Young is, or is it kind of, you have this time off now, and which Bryce Young are you seeing? But also the offensive line, how much did you improve in that? Because that was definitely one of the last couple years, one of their bigger issues too. And so when you talk about teams just like here, when you have bad offensive lines, how much does that affect your quarterback, especially the young ones? So how much did they improve? That will be something to watch too, because Miami's offensive line looked terrible.
Yeah. They did.
And BJ Green is a guy that showed up, and Strigal again. Strigal showed up against against the Steelers and against Pittsburgh.
Listen, Hubbard for the Panthers, like 5.1 yards carry last year. I mean, he had a big year. So if we don't stop him, it's going to make it easier for Bryce Young, that's for sure. Hopefully we can.
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously they're working through all these roster things, and fans are more zeroing in on like who they don't want on their team, right? Not who they do.
Like, get this guy away.
Correct. Like we're done with him. We've moved on, and we were talking off air again. Caleb Von Chason, who the Patriots have starting, and they like him.
Yeah.
And fans obviously here, we're so over Caleb Von Chason, and even the other pick in that first round, CJ Henderson.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Fans definitely did not want either of them on the team.
Do you know why he's doing better? Because he's an outside stand-up backer, not a hand-in-the-ground defensive end. He was never going to be that.
Sometimes you have to change your scheme to fit the personnel that you have, and sometimes here, we haven't exactly seen those adjustments, unfortunately. I remember that was a big critique of Todd Wash, the defensive coordinator that was here for quite a long time. All right, Tom's takeaways are on the other side. It is a big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online. WeKeepJacksRollin.com. They have so many 5-star reviews, and they do such a terrific job for our vehicles. Again, WeKeepJacksRollin.com. It's 1010XL on 92.5 FM.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Looking to elevate your game night experience? Look no further than Best Bet. We're not just a card room, we're your destination for excitement, fun, and big wins. Whether you're a seasoned player or new to the game, we have something for everyone. Join us at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, or St. Augustine for thrilling tournaments, exciting promotions, and a vibrant atmosphere that will take your game night to the next level. Elevate your game night at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Summer's wrapping up, and life is picking back up. Early mornings, long days, and a to-do list that doesn't quit. And neither should you. Who has time to slow down due to body pain? That's why there's Aleve to keep you going. With just one pill, Aleve delivers longer-lasting body pain relief per dose compared to other leading OTC branded pain relievers. Aleve helps keep you moving from sunup to sundown with up to 12 hours of pain relief per dose, so you can keep moving and be ready for whatever's next. Use as directed.
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
These are the last days for Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale. These are the biggest savings we could possibly offer, with everything on display discounted 40 to 50% off, ending Saturday, August 30th. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it, and the only way to do that is to give you huge deals at 40 to 50% off everything. And the sale ends this Saturday, August 30th. Diamond jewelry, colored gemstones, gold chains, everything. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Bernardina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Bernardina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Bernardina.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. If ever you want to watch us on the stream, you'll get to see our lovely faces, but moreover, Tom play instruments when songs he likes.
Great tune right there now. Come on. This is a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Have a drink on me, baby.
Do you love all of AC/DC?
What's that?
Do you love all AC/DC?
Yeah, for the most
That's what I
part.
figured.
Yeah. I saw him live in Tampa.
Oh, nice.
Like fifth row. I came out of there floating. It was unbelievable. It was so loud. It was incredible.
Because when your ears are ringing for days after you leave.
Yeah, and it kind of like visits your soul almost. You know what I mean? It's just
And
like,
there-
wow, it's just so
Pretty
incredible.
much every concert
Yeah.
I've been.
Mhm.
There are, and
Not everyone, for
There's
me.
been some where you like in those moments where you're like, that was one of the top experiences I've ever had, and it kind of it's like bittersweet because it was amazing, but then you're like, it's also over, and you're
Yeah.
like, dang, I want to do that again, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to for some of them that you
Yeah,
go to.
I'll tell you one of the bad ones, not bad, but not good ones I went to. Miranda Lambert, my wife and I went, and she just broke up with Blake Shelton, and she wouldn't stop crying.
Oh, no.
The whole time. The crowd's singing for him. I'm like, I didn't come here to see the crowd say, well, just snap out of it. Let's go.
Get it together.
She couldn't get it together. I mean, she kept crying.
No,
it was wild. I'm like, oh, my God.
That's funny. I saw Kenny Chesney a long time ago, and she was the opening act.
Yeah.
And she was great.
Yeah.
And then she went backstage, and I guess she just got hammered.
Oh, no.
So he brought her back out for them to sing together, and she was like falling down on stage, and I was like, this is not a good look.
She's a little girl, so I'm sure it only takes her a few shots to go down.
But it came out a little bit after that they were splitting up. So I was like, well, this is not surprising.
Yeah.
But then I think everyone thought it was Blake Shelton's fault. But either way, by the way, we went to Aldean's Friday night. Taylor and I did. And we had been to Old Red. That's the Blake Shelton bar. Jason Aldean's is pretty new. They opened in December. And
we only spent like 7 hours.
We found our country music. We stayed. It was so much fun. We got to meet so many different people. And it was interesting going this time versus last time, because last time we were around so many Jags fans. Well, of course, there's no Jags fans out there right now unless they live there. So it was a different experience for sure.
It was fun. Yeah, it was still fun. And Aldean's we love the live music. So immediately, they're both floors. It's it's technically 2 stories and then like a rooftop, but both inside have different bands playing. And so we were kind of going back and forth. We're like, we like this song. Okay, let's go back down to this song.
Fremont, whatever it was called. They had some good bands out there. Remember that 80s band was pretty good.
Yeah.
They were playing all 80s music.
Yeah,
it's
such a fun place.
I was like, play Wham.
Play Wham.
All right, time now for Tom's takeaways.
Now.
Okay, it's go time.
Tommy's takeaways. Jacked up by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We are here for you. Veteran owned and operated.
My takeaway today is you never know where you're going to go. It doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you finish. And I'm looking at B.J. Green II, the first-year player out of Colorado. Kind of an undersized defensive end, but, man, he started showing up in practice, really had a natural bend around the corner. He's making plays, had another sack. A lot of people believe that he will make this team. Of course, Danny Strigow, another defensive lineman that has made some plays as well. But B.J. Green II, undrafted, right? Didn't get drafted because he's 6'1", 270, but man, he can get around that corner and get to the quarterback. So again, you never know where you're going to go. Doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you finish. And he appears to be finishing pretty darn good. So congrats to him if that happens. I hope it does for him because he sure does deserve it. And that's my takeaway today, brought to you by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
That's, I think, an interesting guy for sure. Do you think that Tyler Lacey makes this team?
No.
Okay. Even though he's been starting next to Devon Hamilton pretty much all through training camp, and then now obviously we're starting to see more Eric Armstead, Mason Smith.
When things became healthy, he wasn't as much.
Well, and they brought in who? They brought in 2 guys.
Yeah. Right.
They brought in Austin Johnson, and now Colin Saunders.
And they could bring in another defensive tackle.
They don't do that for any reason at all. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I nothing against Tyler Lacey. I just think, these guys are going to be bigger and stronger and a little bit better for us inside. And, look, our interior D-line hasn't been good. I mean, it wasn't good last year. It's not good when Armstead's not in there. So hopefully Mason Smith, hopefully Colin, hopefully Johnson, all these guys together with Eric, they actually, I think that's your foursome.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to keep 5 defensive tackles. I don't think so. But that's your 4 guys.
And I will say too, I don't know if anybody can say there wasn't a fair shot given to people, because especially when it comes to injuries, when we talked about the cornerback room, several injuries. So a lot of those guys, you had your fair competition at doing it with that middle defensive line with the injuries with Mason Smith and Eric Armstead. Those guys got their fair shot. We saw the offensive line, how much they were moving guys around there. So if there's one thing you can say that everybody you feel like at practice at least was able to get their chance to shine.
Yeah.
So if you didn't make it, they just didn't see enough from you during that period.
And for the record, when they cut, it doesn't mean they don't like them. They just don't fit in the numbers. It's a numbers game. That doesn't mean Tyler, if he doesn't go anywhere else, they don't say, hey, man, come back on a practice squad, be a part of our team, and we may need you. You just never know in today's game, in any game. So, I think he's right there. I don't mean to say like, it's not that at all. Sure. But I think they don't make those 2 moves inside if they're not happy with what's going on.
Same with Jordan
inside.
Jefferson too. I think he falls in that category. Although, I said, Lacey was certainly getting much more of the playing time with.
He was. You're right.
For a while there. And reminder, cut day is tomorrow, 4 p.m. We'll probably find out a lot of this information, even unofficially, between now and 4 p.m. tomorrow. But yeah, it was interesting. I was listening to Duval Rundown this morning, and Hayes Carline had Frank Frangie on, and he asked him about the running backs, and they both believe the top four running backs will be on this team. Frank even wondered what they do with Jaquindon Jackson. But Hayes asked him, well, which running back do you think is not going to be active on game days? Because you're only probably going to have the 3 running backs active.
Right.
And Frank said Bashal Tootin. And I found that fascinating because, A, it's a great problem to have 4 good running backs if that's what you have. But the fact that your first of the 2 rookie draft picks would be obviously Tootin drafted in the 4th round, LeQuint not drafted until later. Interesting that if it is Tootin who's inactive, at least to start, and certainly I think that'll change.
Yeah, I'm guessing then the special teams side for LeQuint and the pass catching ability for LeQuint would maybe outweigh that to initially in the beginning of the
pass
season.
Protection.
And the pass pro.
Yeah, pass pro for sure, and catching the ball. So the question is, okay, so you got Etienne who can do what Allen does, right? Can Tootin do what Etienne and Allen do? Is he good at pass pro? I don't know this question, this answer yet. I don't think we've seen enough. We know what we get out of Tank. He's good at running the football. Not the best catching, but not bad. Not bad. He can catch the rock. It's not like it always, just bounce out. He can get in those screens.
Doesn't always just bounce out.
He does make some plays. Like he made plays during camp for sure in the passing game. So then you sit there and go, well, okay, who do I need?
But your fastest back, you might have an active, at least to start, would be interesting. But again, he also did have an injury. Bashal Tootin did with a hamstring, so it's not as surprising as we said.
Yeah, I think Allen just brings, he's going to block for you, and he can go out and catch passes. But so can Etienne. So you just got to. I think it's going to be game to game. Who do we need? And do we need more power and speed? Well, then maybe we throw it, and we're going to run the ball more. Maybe we throw in Tootin. Hey, if we're going to pass the ball a little bit more, maybe we bring in Allen Jr. Let him work that third down. But I think Tank. I don't know. You could. It's funny because you could sit there and be like, well, maybe Tank's the odd guy out. You know what I mean? I've got Etienne. He's my lead horse. He's proven it, I think, that he deserves that shot. I don't know if he'll keep it the entire year, but going into week 1, I think Travis Etienne Jr.'s earned that number 1 spot. And then it comes down to Tootin, really, is can he pass pro? And if he can pass, we know he can run. He sees the field well. He can cut well. He's got tremendous speed. He hasn't dropped the ball other than one time early, but he didn't drop it since, so that's a good thing. He can catch the ball. I don't know about going out for passes, but in that screen game, which is going to be big, so maybe it's, if you compare him and Tank, right? And what if him and Tank can do both the same thing? Who do you want out there?
Out of Tank and Tootin, you're saying?
Yeah, Tank and Tootin. They both do the same thing. They both run hard.
Probably Tootin because of the speed. The speed, and then also he's a rookie. Tank is in his 3rd season.
Okay. Yeah, that might factor in.
I think, long term.
I mean, Tank's not slow.
People could say Tank has done
slow.
this in the NFL already, though, and we haven't seen Tootin do it in the NFL. So,
right. And Tank is not slow.
Tank can take,
That's why I just find this whole running back. I've been thinking it's fascinating before training camp.
It's gotten more fascinating.
It really is. And I think some people had written Etienne off, and I think he's worked his tail off, and I think they've been impressed with what they've seen. I know I have been.
I had my Etienne sign out here.
Yeah. I think Etienne could probably get you a good value pick, though. You know what I mean? Like, you'd think maybe a 3rd rounder.
That's been on the back of my sign.
Is that too much to ask? 4th rounder? You know what I mean? That's on the back.
I was talking to, so I was at my nephew's birthday yesterday. They all graduated from Clemson. My sister-in-law's dad, her brother. So they're all diehard Clemson fans, obviously. Love Trevor, love Travis. And so when I was talking about Etienne and how how well he's been this offseason and everything we've seen, and I'm super excited for him. And I was like, but I don't know, if they're going to try and get some trade, if there's trade value there, if someone offers you something, do you take it? And they were all like, no, you can't let him go. And I was like, it would be me. I promise you, I would not want to trade him.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'd like to keep Travis here for at least another year and see what happens after that. Kind of like Lloyd. I don't want to see Lloyd go either. I think you keep both those guys, and let's see what they can do.
I think this team, if the coaching staff believes that they're going to be of value, I find it hard pressed that they're going to move on from them right now when all these guys are first timers.
Agreed.
Right? That's what I think.
Especially Etienne, right?
Right. Yep. Etienne, over Lloyd for sure. All right, Taylor's Tangents on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. You find them online at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. They have 6 locations around town. The newest one is in Mandarin. It's 1010X on 92.5 FM.
1010XL brings you the orange and blue.
Wow, wow, wow!
The Gators grit their teeth against the Sharks of Long Island University. Saturday at 7 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
If you're 35 to 75, you could get life insurance today. No medical exam needed. I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial. One call could protect your family for life. Call me today, 904-885-9566.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. It's a sauce kind of football season with Chick-fil-A chicken strips. Each crispy, juicy bite only gets better when you choose your favorite sauces to dip into and create your own flavor combinations. Will it be sriracha and ranch, honey and buffalo, barbecue and Chick-fil-A sauce with 21 different sauce pairings possible? It's easy to go on a flavor adventure. Order in a 4-count, 10-count, or in a catering tray. Get an order started today in the Chick-fil-A app and dip on into football season.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. HairForMe.com.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pool. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 25th, 1981, Mark McGwire hit his very first major league home run.
The 3-2 pitch to McGwire. Swing and a high fly ball belted.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Yo, Jacksonville, Hickens Hype. Checkmate Coatings crushes it with floors I'd put in my own pad.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all. Garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Rush to checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
How do you know that your roof is ready for the next big storm? You don't. That's why you need to call me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We'll assess your roof and fix those issues before they become storm disasters. Visit BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roofing quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Let's go, girls.
Well, Shania's waiting for you on this Monday afternoon. Y'all got to go to the concert. I wasn't able to go, but I obviously heard good things about it. Taylor was so sweet. She FaceTimed me live from Shania so I could get to see her sing just a little bit. But yeah, welcome back to this Helmets and Heels Monday edition, as always brought to you by Big Chief Tire. And right now, Taylor Dahl has a tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
So this Shedeur Sanders conversation and everything that's going on just continues to get crazier and crazier to me. The most recent is that the Browns are intentionally trying to sabotage Shedeur Sanders. 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen that were in front of him got cut today, apparently. And now there's rumors that the Browns did that intentionally so that Shedeur looks bad. This is just obviously Twitter rumors that are going around and people showing clips of what the line looked like in front of Shedeur. But I just think it's getting a little frustrating because I think that, first of all, this guy is a late round draft pick quarterback at this point. He wasn't drafted in the first round. So there's clearly not expectations that he was going to be very good in the NFL in general at this point. And so he's struggling. Rookies struggle also. You've seen first round picks struggle, as rookies. So I do think that some of the slander towards him right now is a little too much too, because he has Deion Sanders' name, people thought that he was not going to be a normal rookie and he was going to be able to come in and do all these incredible things. I think we've learned it's not that easy in the NFL. If you follow teams that have been looking for quarterbacks for a very long time, you know that. And
are you talking about yourself?
Yeah. Yes. Or just looking around. I mean, how many teams have tried first round quarterbacks over several times? Or get top 3 quarterbacks. But that's what's interesting to me when it comes to this, because the Browns, yes, they drafted Dylan Gabriel and then they got Shedeur Sanders, and they've been a laughingstock for a very long time when it comes to the quarterback position. Do you think they would intentionally sabotage a quarterback that could potentially save their organization? I just don't think that's the case. I think that if they fully, and right now what it seems like is Dylan Gabriel, and what it sounds like coming out of camp and in preseason is Dylan Gabriel has outplayed Shedeur Sanders. And so they're looking at it like that. They are just trying to find their quarterback of the future. And however that looks for them is what, granted, if they make the right choice, that's one thing also, because they obviously have paid one that they probably shouldn't have paid, and they've made a lot of bad choices. But it's just weird to me that we're on this weird narrative that everybody in the entire NFL, including the organization that drafted him, is trying to ruin Shedeur Sanders and his chances of making it into the NFL.
I saw Coach Stefanski just be like, whatever, I'm not listening to that crap. That's got nothing to do with it. I mean, look, here's the reality. He's a 5th round pick. Dylan got drafted before him. Flacco's there. Watson. They brought in Hundley. They let him go. So you're 4th on the depth chart. Mm-hmm. You don't just get to be number 1 because you were famous in college.
Yeah.
You were a 5th round pick. And Kenny Pickett. Sorry about that. Thanks for adding that. But you're sitting there going, well, what do you expect? Did he deserve shots with the ones? Because he played well in one preseason game against backups. So then we put him in again. With maybe he plays well again, and then maybe we consider moving him up or protecting him, making sure we keep him around. But he failed. He didn't have a good. Now, granted, those line aren't very good, but I don't understand what you expect. Like he's not going to get Flacco reps. Mm-hmm. He's not going to get second team reps. He's not the second string quarterback. If he was the second string quarterback and you put him out there with a crappy line and he had a terrible night and you cut him the next day, well, then maybe I'd be like, well, what's you put him out there for, to make him fail? But I don't think that's the case here.
You have to wonder if there's some attitude stuff, and I'm not saying just with Shedeur, but because of what we saw happen with his brother, the fact that he threw a punch, he was an undrafted rookie free agent. The Bucs went ahead and moved on from him.
Yeah.
Like, that just goes,
if I'm looking at it,
if I'm looking at it from a big picture perspective, is there something to, yes, they are Deion's kids and they were raised maybe a little differently and with maybe more money than the average kid. I mean, obviously, yes, they were.
I know this is old school and people are going to scoff at this. Some people will, but it's like back when, in the old days, kids were to be seen, not heard. Right. Well, backup quarterbacks are to be seen, not heard. You don't want any attention. Mm-hmm. They need to just be in the background and not, cause, and not that it comes with them. He's Deion Sanders' kid. Yeah. I mean, he was great in Colorado.
There's
he
some
fell in the draft.
Goes with that no matter
I get
what.
that. Like, it's not necessarily his fault. It just is what it is. And I know his organization, well, if he's not the starter totally kicking butt, because then we don't care, then we'll applaud it. They'll be like, oh, yeah, come on, bring in more. Bring more people to watch our organization because you're playing well. But just because of who you are, that's not the case. And they don't want that. And if you're the third string or on the practice squad, they never want to see you. Like, they don't want you talking to anybody. And the press, I mean, that's just the way it is. So I don't know. Look, we live in an age that everybody's got an opinion on something, and it's got to be this, it's got to be that, it's not fair, it's not this. Well, at the end of the day, none of those people are inside the organization watching day to day, including us. So, I don't know, but there's a reason they put them out there with the backups.
Also, every single year, especially recently, we've seen quarterbacks taking 50, 60, 70 sacks, and the conversation isn't that their team is sabotaging them, and that's just that they don't have a good offensive line and they have to figure that out, not that they did this intentionally.
Yeah.
So if teams have starting offensive lines that are allowing almost 70 sacks, then I'm sorry, Shador, you're 4th or 5th on the depth chart. You have the lower line, and so you're just going to have to deal with that. It's not people, and Shador's not, I don't think he's saying this. It's Twitter. But it was just, I woke up this morning, I was like, we've got to chill with this. Like, there's certain times where people stick to storylines so much and push them too heavy, where it's like, we're not even talking about a starting or backup quarterback at this time. At this point in time.
You knew this would happen the moment that they drafted Dylan Gabriel and then turned around and drafted Shador Sanders. Like, you knew that there was going to be drama at some point in time, whether it was Deion related, whether it was the battle of the rookie quarterbacks, but you also have those other guys, like you said, Flacco. You got Pickett. Deshaun won't play this year, but he's still on the roster.
Still there.
Well, still around. I'm assuming he'll just go on IR for the entire season.
The Browns aren't very smart. They haven't been for a very long time. I mean, have they?
Everyone thinks Kevin Stefanski is a good coach.
Yeah.
And so you'd feel like he has to feel like, gosh, I'm hamstrung in this situation. But I'm glad that around here, I know there are the Trevor haters and everything, but I'd rather have
deal with that.
I'd rather have the questions about Trevor Lawrence going into year 5 than have the 4 quarterbacks and really 5 quarterbacks. And you used to have 6 when Tyler Huntley was there because there were a few injuries. I'll stick with this. You want to give away some lunch?
I do. Let's give away some free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 3, you get free lunch to Chick-fil-A today.
I like it. Y'all want to talk some college football?
Let's do it.
All right. Randy Cross, a buddy of yours, is going to join us when we return. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Wonder what Rick Ballou would be doing if he wasn't on 1010XL?
I like sports. I could do something in sports. Like the general manager of a baseball team.
Rick Ballou.
Well, it doesn't even have to be the general manager. Maybe I could be like an announcer, like a color man.
Evenings on 1010XL.
It's time to elevate your back-to-school style with luxury and a brand-new Cadillac.
Discover the 2025 Luxury XT6, a spacious 7-seat SUV starting at just $49,195. Perfect for carpooling or weekend adventures.
That's right, or step up your game with the stunning 2026 Vistique, Escalade, and Escalade IQ.
I want to go back to school in style.
You can. Visit us at Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville. This school year, it's all about style.
Plus tax tag title, $9.99 admin fee, and resist all on approved credit.
Lauren Brooks here. Now is a great time for Closets by Design to come to your house and create custom storage solutions for your closets, garages, laundry rooms, and entertainment centers. Doug from Closets by Design came to our house this morning, and he's going to totally revamp our laundry room and our closets. We could not be more excited. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit them online, closetsbydesign.com.
Helmets and Heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is the final week of Beards Diamond's incredible free finance offer. Hicken here. This week only, make any purchase, spread those payments over 5 years without a dime in interest payments. Not just on engagement rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Buy now, pay nothing down, spread your payments over 5 years. Such a smart way to buy, and nobody else can do it. 5 years, 0 interest. You can even finance the sales tax. All GIA certified diamonds are included in this. I'm talking rounds, princess cuts, ovals, pear-shaped, cushion cuts, emerald cuts. You get the idea. Whether you get a $5,000 diamond or a $50,000 diamond, Spread those payments over 5 whole years. Get the Beards Diamonds unbeatable price. Pay 0 down. Spread your payments over 5 years. Lots of folks are doing this, but time is running out. The offer ends on Sunday and will not be extended. Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center. Shop local. Shop Beards.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Looking for your new favorite hangout this football season? Try Voodoo Brewing Company in the heart of San Marco. Locally owned and community focused, Voodoo Brewing serves up award-winning beers, scratch-made upscale pub fare, and laid-back vibes where everyone's welcome. For live music, trivia nights, and all the football action this season, make Voodoo Brewing Company Jacksonville your new favorite spot on San Marco Square.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by the Jumbo Shrimp. Week 1 of high school football began last Friday with some exciting matchups around town. Mandarin defeated Creekside 42-20. St. Augustine defeated Palatka 41-0. And Nice beat Ponte Vedra 38-28. It's officially week 1 of the college football season with some great games ahead. Number 15, Florida versus LIU. Number 5, Georgia versus Marshall. Number 8, Alabama at FSU. And number 10, Miami versus number 6, Notre Dame. It's 92 degrees at 3:01. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
All right, hour number 2 of Helmets and Heels with Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dowell, and Tom McManus talking a little college football now with 3-time Super Bowl champion and college football Hall of Famer, Mr. Randy Cross, CBS analyst who will be heading to Annapolis, Maryland this weekend. Randy, welcome to the show, my friend, and great to catch up with you once again.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Good to hear your voice.
Absolutely. Likewise. Randy, how many years is this for you, man, covering the game of college ball?
College ball, it's been, probably about 17 years.
Nice.
And I did 20 years of NFL before that.
Yeah, the juices still flow for it, I see. So that's awesome. What are you expecting out of Navy this year? We'll just start with that since you're going to be calling that game this weekend.
Yeah.
What are they looking like?
Well, you got a lot of people down there in that area that have Navy ties.
That's right.
Yeah, they're excited about this season. I just got off a Zoom with Brian Newberry, their head coach. They're playing VMI in this opener, and they're taking that sort of let's worry about ourselves approach, which may or may not mean they probably should beat on these guys pretty good. But they won double digits games last year. They have the potential to win more games this year. It's like everybody else, Tom, especially the programs that sort of live on the razor's edge, like a Navy, like an Army, like an Air Force, all those academy teams. They just can't afford any injuries. They don't have an amazing amount of depth, but I think looking at them semi-objectively, they should probably be able to get into that double digits, maybe 11 this year, wins-wise. And, then there's not much limit to what they can do. If they can go 11-2. That would be a pretty amazing season for Navy.
Randy, Lauren Brooks here. I'm a diehard college football fan, so we consider this the 2 TV time in our household. We pull a TV in because Saturday night we've got Long Island versus Florida. That's my alma mater. And then we've got LSU Clemson same time at 7:30. So we'll start out with that LSU Clemson game. I'm not going to ask you to break down Long Island, but
no,
obviously.
Well, you don't talk to too many Long Island University Brooklyn.
You got that right. But we do have Garrett Nussmeier versus Cade Klubnik, and I feel like those two guys we've talked about all offseason have been certainly in the Heisman Trophy conversation. What do you think of that game in Death Valley? And I can easily say Death Valley since they're both Death Valley.
Yeah. You're going to hear little Death Valley, big Death Valley for the next 5 days or so.
Mm-hmm.
I think what Dabo has done, if you can pull it off, which he seems to be in the process of doing without overly participating in the NIL world. I think he signed 3 transfers this year and had, for a couple of years, didn't have any. He's got as talented a team as we've seen at Clemson in quite a while. And that's saying something because he's had some pretty good teams. But he's got a team. He's got a quarterback that is a returning touchdown thrower. Best returning touchdown thrower with 36 and Cade Klubnik last year. He's got back to having a pretty nice stable of receivers, which always sort of runs that offense because they've had quarterbacks. They haven't always had the studs on the outside. And something that's been consistent for Clemson is Clemson plays at the line of scrimmage in a very kind of stifling manner. They're not completely unlike what Kirby Smart has done at Georgia. They're big, they're physical, they swarm. I'm expecting Clemson to come out of that with a win. I mean, Nussmeier's got some toys on the outside. He can throw like crazy, but I think when you put pressure on him, he has a tendency to throw it to the other guy, and that Clemson defense will be able to pressure him quite a bit, I believe.
Randy, looking over at another game that we've talked a good amount about on this station just because Notre Dame heading to Miami, but Carson Beck being here from Jacksonville, Florida, making that switch from Georgia to go play in Miami. Notre Dame deciding just recently last week that they're going to roll with C.J. Carr out there. So what are your thoughts on that game, kind of the expectations? both of these teams having a decent amount of changes, but also I think some good things still happening in their programs too.
Yeah, for sure. You've got, especially at quarterback, you've got one guy whose resume you could fit on a business card, and another guy whose resume would basically fit in a pretty good size address book. That from that perspective, you would think throwing the ball would be the way to go for Miami, and I would really expect Miami to sling that thing pretty good, and I expect Notre Dame with Love at running back and C.J. Carr at quarterback. You're going to see a lot of the O-line. You're going to see a lot of running game. You're going to see some quarterback design runs. But, if they can run for over 200 yards, as a team, I think they got a pretty good chance of taking Miami out. But it's going to be a tall tale. Miami's not bad. They had a quarterback the last year or two with Cam Ward, and I think everybody kind of remembers Miami as the team that played in that last game that only had their quarterback for a quarter or so. But, I expect them to give Notre Dame all they want. But Notre Dame will come out and win it, I think.
Talking college football here with Randy Cross from CBS Sports. Randy, what do you make out of Florida State this year, man? I mean, 2 years ago, 13-0. We know that story. Last year, 2-10. Not very good year, but what do you make out of them? What do you expect out of them? And, of course, man, they're going to line it up against Bama at Doak Campbell. What do you think about that matchup as well?
Yeah, I've talked to I live in the Atlanta area, so we've got a lot of the Bama types here. I talked to good buddies. I've never been to Tallahassee. What's that stadium like? It's kind of like the one you got, just slightly smaller. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. It's going to be nasty. I think Florida State's going to be one of those teams, to me, they might be in the top 5 in the ACC, which is very uncharacteristic for them. But after that season last year, I expect them to be back. I expect Florida State to surprise a lot of people. Not necessarily Bama in this first game, because Bama, I think, has got some aspirations that go well past their opener. But I think Florida State's going to be okay.
Well, that's certainly good news to all the Knowles fans around here who, last year with DJ Uyunglele, and then not really having a run game at all. It was really, really rough for them. Randy, is there a game that you see on the schedule, maybe a Texas Ohio State? Oh, I don't know, maybe number 1 versus number 2 that we've never seen to kick off the season that have your or you'll have your eye on?
Yeah, it's that game. It starts at noon. I'm going to get a chance to watch a good bit of it, but it'll be on tape because my game starts at noon also. But it's the first time in 40 years that a number 1 team's gone into an opener as an underdog, which sounds kind of weird.
Yeah.
But, we looked it up, and it's true. And it's also the first time that a defending champ is playing a top 5 opponent since 1988.
Wow.
So, that's something I think that's worth paying attention to. I'm expecting that Texas team to be just a little bit better. But one thing that really stands out here in week 1 is something you can't really adjust for. You have to live through. Of the top 8 teams in the country, 6 of them have inexperienced to no experience quarterbacks playing for them. So that sets up for either great news or about as wild a situation as you could ask for with just some strange-looking upset. So I think the most important position in the field, can't be inexperienced. It just can't work that way without having some repercussions.
Yeah, Randy, obviously here, we're the home of the Florida Gators on 1010XL. So the conversations this offseason for that have all been around DJ Lagway and the health being a part of it. Had moments last year where he was a little banged up. And then through this offseason, there's been a couple of scares for Gator fans, too, when it comes to that. But what are your thoughts on Lagway and that relationship with Billy Napier and kind of the conversation of how that offense can look this year with him?
Well, it's got to be dynamic. It's got to be. They got to have the quick threat. They got to have a big physical O-line. I mean, you're talking about in the SEC, which to me is still the best conference in America. And I know the Big Ten can say, well, we've got the last couple of champs, but I'm saying top to bottom. SEC added Texas and Texas A&M here lately. The other side, and Oklahoma, you have a Big Ten added USC and UCLA. I mean, I went to UCLA, but there's no comparison there. I think the key for Lagway, be consistent and just be deaf to the noise, because he's going to hear so much crap consistently. Just try to tune it out. And, week 1, put up some great stats, have a great time, and hope the guys on the scoreboard are ready for triple digits.
Randy, as we wrap up here, man, isn't it great that we're actually talking about football? We're not talking about portal, not talking about NIL or how many conference games certain conferences are playing and not playing, all this stuff. We're now finally got to the actual game of football. Some great games to kick it off this weekend, no question.
Yeah, that's the truth. It's the business of football in the offseason now has another life.
Yep.
And it's suddenly now more important than actually the game of football. And starting this week, all that goes away, and it's just about wins, losses, and which team you get to hate the most.
All right.
Very much, yeah.
That's right. You can catch Randy on the call, VMI at Navy this Saturday. Randy, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate you. And again, great to hear your voice and talking some college football.
Thanks, T-Mac. Appreciate it.
All right. Beautiful.
There he goes. Good stuff there. By the way, Jeremy Fowler tweeted out that the Jaguars are releasing quarterback John Wolford.
Ooh.
I don't think that's too much of a surprise
not really.
because we knew Nick Mullins was the second-string quarterback for the Jaguars, but did want to pass along that information as we continue to count down to cut day, which now is just about 24 hours away from us tomorrow at 4 p.m. And I know what Randy meant. the SEC added Texas and Oklahoma recently. Before that, Missouri and Texas A&M were added in 2012. And I'll never forget that because Florida had to play at Texas A&M in 2012.
Right. I remember that.
And one of my friend's husbands went to the game and accidentally missed the birth of the twins. Accidentally missed it. Timing just didn't work out. So that's why I'll never forget that. Oh, no, it's right. All right, you are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday on 1010X on 92.5 FM.
He tackles talk radio like a middle linebacker in the gap.
I tell it like I see it, and I see it like a middle linebacker.
Tommy Mack. Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unsealed by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Caliber lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
If fishing is in your DNA, hop in the boat with Captain Kevin. It's the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Frank Franzi here from my bank, South State Bank. South State has been committed to delivering world-class customer service that businesses like yours and mine can count on. From personalized support to cutting-edge banking solutions, South State Bank has blended the trusted traditions we all value with the innovation you need for tomorrow. Whether you're managing cash flow or investing in growth, South State Bank is here to help you move forward. Visit southstatebank.com or visit your local branch today. That's South State, member FDIC.
Hey, it's Joe C. Summer in Jacksonville means the sun is hot, the grills are fired up, and your water heater probably full of sludge.
Nah, not mine.
Think, when was the last time you flushed your water heater out? It's okay, you could say it.
Probably never.
Flushing a water heater each year improves its efficiency and extends its lifespan.
They sure don't make them like they used to.
So call Roland Reese Plumbing for a routine water heater flush out and any other plumbing needs. 260-7059 or at plumberandjacks.com. Roland Reese Plumbing.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Hacker here. You know, those of you that have listened to me for years realize that I used to do a lot of different weight loss things, a lot of different things that I tried that just never worked for one reason or the other. And then Awaken 180 Weight Loss came along, and I heard Mike Dempsey and Matt Hayes talking about it, and I thought, you know what? What the heck? What do I have to lose? I'm going to give it a try. I had low expectations, to be honest, based on previous history, but I learned very quickly that Awaken 180 Weight Loss is the best weight loss program I was ever on. I dropped 19 pounds my first 2 weeks on Awaken 180 Weight Loss, went on to lose over 100 pounds total. I'm keeping the weight off with the Awaken 180 Weight Loss Maintenance Program. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, without a shadow of a doubt, is the best weight loss program I have ever been on, and the results speak for themselves. If it's time for you to lose some weight like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. You can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Don't 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Thanks again to Randy Cross for joining us as we were talking college football. The news did come out earlier today as Billy Napier met with media that DJ Lagway will start the game against that team that Florida plays on Saturday that everyone's making fun of in Long Island. Tom, you just asked me off air if I will be watching. I will, and I realized this morning I better be in good push-up shape, because if Florida's offense does what I think they'll do to Long Island, that's going to be a lot of push-ups for me.
Like in a row? Like if they score 70 on that 70th point, you got to throw down 70?
That is correct.
Wow.
Sir.
Can you do 70?
At this point in the season, 70 is a lot. Later in the season, I'll get better with it. So I might have to switch. I hate calling them girl push-ups, but switch to, girl push-ups.
The knee push-ups?
Yeah, the knee push-ups.
Yeah, they're still hard.
They are.
You know,
and if
don't
you do them right,
do those.
I can't even do 70 girl push-ups.
I mean, it's either if you do them right, they're hard
anyways.
But I will say my
your
push-ups.
body gets used to them though.
But my push-ups at the beginning of a game definitely look better than my push-ups at the end of a game.
By the end, your arms shaking a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, they turn to
I know
jello.
mine would.
Like there's been
like
times,
5.
there's been times that I've been like, can you please not score again? Like obviously you're going to win this game like very easily. So my arms would appreciate a little break. So if you don't score a touchdown here, then that makes things easier for me. All right. Were y'all locked into the golf yesterday? And you're not the biggest golf fans, but did you end up seeing...
I was not locked into golf.
No. I know Tommy Fleetwood won. Everyone was all excited about it, so that's cool.
He was
$10 million.
Such a class act. And to have faced the music, everyone makes fun of Rory McIlroy for how he won't talk to reporters after he has a bad round.
Yeah.
And Tommy Fleetwood, so many times after losing... And big golf tournaments, too. He was 0-163 until yesterday.
Wow.
And he faced the media reporters after every single time he came in second as a runner-up. And then to see him win, it was so fantastic. I was so happy for him. However, I have a quick funny story. So, Tom... Several years ago, 2022, I was in Denver visiting my cousin who had just moved there. And I was having this conversation at the bar. She and I were with this group of football fans. And Derek Carr came up. This one guy was a Raiders fan. And I basically was like, Derek Carr's miserable. And he was like, no, he's going to be excellent. Just watch. As it turns out, he was miserable, right? So all along I've been like, I was right. That guy was wrong. Well, this is the complete opposite of that.
Oh.
So on one of our flights, the one heading to Vegas, I sat in between two guys that were going there for a bachelor party. And the one guy pulled the golf up, watching the FedEx Championship up on his TV screen. And I looked at the leaderboard and I was like, I'll tell you two guys who are definitely not going to win this tournament. One, Tommy Fleetwood, and two, Patrick Cantlay. I don't know if you saw the leaderboard yesterday, but
they were 1 and 2.
Fleetwood won, and then Cantlay was right up there.
That's hilarious.
So,
they probably wish they had your number to text you. Like you were very wrong.
And that's what
I think. Hopefully, they didn't get to Vegas and put money on your guarantees.
And that's the thing. Like I said, I feel like freezing cold takes. Cantlay tied for second with Russell Henley. Freezing cold takes. Now I'm exposed.
Oh yes,
I can no longer ride off the coattails of Derek Carr not being a good quarterback.
Derek Carr or David Carr?
Derek Carr.
You didn't like Derek Carr? I mean, he's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he give you a lot of yards.
I did not like him. We saw him here.
Did you like Romo?
I liked Romo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just reminds me of Romo. Threw for a lot of yards. Threw for touchdowns, but never couldn't be the clutch guy that you need.
I would rather have Romo over Derek Carr.
Yeah, I never had any feelings towards Derek Carr. Like, I thought he was all right.
Yeah, he was okay, I didn't think he was. The one you said terrible, I'm like, well, David, he never did anything, right?
Yeah, his brother was basically sacked out of the NFL.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the QB back then, but anyway, interesting.
Yeah, anyway, I just had to tell you all that story, too.
That's hilarious.
Because I've bragged so much about the other one, I had to go the opposite way.
Yeah, good for them, though.
In the world of the NFL, how much do you think we can glean? Nothing specific, but how much do you think we can glean from the preseason? Like, do you think we can walk away from the first three or the 3 games of the preseason 4 for the 2 teams that played in the Hall of Fame game, and we can actually say, like, okay, this person is good, or this team is good, or this team is not good?
I don't think you can go out and say, like, this team is going to be good or bad or terrible or whatever the case may be, or guess a number of wins from it. I think you can get an idea of certain players. The problem is I do think you don't see the starters play a ton in the preseason, and most of those guys you kind of do know for the most part what type of player they are, unless it's a newer quarterback or a rookie that is starting.
Like a Jackson Dart.
Yeah, and Dart looked great. So, like, does that transfer? We don't know, and I don't think those are the ones you will find out until the regular season. But I do think there's certain things you take out of it. I think you can get a pretty good idea of player-specific things. Like, okay, this starter, this corner beat out this corner, and I think that he will be, not saying you can say, okay, he's going to have 3 picks in this, but I do think you can get an idea of good and bad players, but I don't know if you can get an idea of full teams, whether they're going to be good or bad, unless it's one you already know. Like Philly, Kansas City, Buffalo, like you know those teams are going to be good. Right now, what we're looking at with the Bengals is it looks like the same exact team they had last year, meaning Joe Burrow is going to throw a lot of touchdowns and have a lot of yards as long as he stays healthy. They'll have probably not the best run game, but we'll see Chase Brown. He's good, but last year they were still 3rd fewest in rushing yards because nobody else could run the ball. And then their defense looks terrible. So I think there's things like that you can kind of take out if you're relating it to last year. But if you're trying to figure out something just strictly from the preseason, I don't know how much you can get out of it.
Yeah, no, great point, sir. And I what you're saying about individual players, I thought of like that Tet McMillan is his last name, up in Carolina. They've been raving about him. Now they're talking about trading Adam Thielen back to Minnesota. Maybe they're happy with the guys there, but yeah, I listen. I think you get maybe units. Like we look at our offensive line, we're like, how's it going to be? I don't know. It could be good. It could not be good. Hopefully, it's good, especially in the run game. Give some pressure off our QB. But yeah, as a team, I don't know. I mean, look, think of it this way: the last 2 years, Jags won undefeated in the preseason, right? And then we saw what happened. But you can't sit there and say, well, that's a blanket statement for every team, because Baltimore won like 24 games preseason, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then they're always, pretty one of the top talented teams in the AFC. Yeah. So it's not a, exact science, so to speak. Does that mean the Ravens we think the Ravens are going to be good, right? Because they got all the returning players, regardless of how they did in the preseason.
Yeah.
Like you said, KC, teams like that. But other teams, I don't think you can really, like, even take Houston. What kind of team are they going to have? We don't really know.
Yeah, right.
I don't think they really know. If their offensive line's good, maybe they'll be good. I mean, you like the coach, you like who they have. They got talent, obviously, on both sides of the ball, but they weren't very good last year either. Came back around later, throughout the year and later in the year and whatnot, but you just don't know. And I feel the same about our Jags. I feel good about certain areas, and then I don't feel so good about certain areas. That doesn't mean they're not going to be good in those areas. You just don't know. And I don't think the preseason showed us. If anything, it showed us what they're not good at. You know what I mean? Or maybe there's concerns.
And maybe that's a good point. Maybe in the preseason you figure out more of the worries than you do the things that are going to translate. Like, okay, do we have the offensive line that we need? If you still have a TBD at this point, then maybe there are still some concerns. If you're like, okay, in the first 2 series that our starters played, the line looked great and the run game was there. And this one, it's more of finding out that the things maybe you don't have to really worry about. But even that, I think it would be an interesting study. This would take a long time to go back to the last decade of preseason games and really see records and scores. Like how many points have the Kansas City Chiefs scored in the preseason the last 10 years? And it would be interesting to see that.
And with the starters playing.
And with the starters, because then when you're taking that out, of course, when Patrick Mahomes isn't playing, their team is going to look a little bit different.
Well, and you think about this, like the starters, how many actual series do they get through usually the preseason games?
Well, around here, only 1 to 2. Yeah. And other teams, they'll play a whole half.
Yeah, some have played a lot.
Right, yeah. Well, not around here.
No. Yeah, no. But that's what I was just wondering how the way y'all look at it is, and as far as, you'll see stories of preseason winners and losers, and it's like an Anthony Richardson is probably considered a preseason loser because he lost the starting quarterback job. However, Anthony Richardson may end up usurping Daniel Jones and may have a fantastic season and lead the Colts to the playoffs.
Or Riley Leonard.
Or
Riley Leonard, of course.
She's got to bang that drum.
Yeah, and it will be like when we talk about the Bengals, for example. The Bengals, the reason that they said they came out and they were playing their starters way more, which they played a ton, but Joe Burrow played a ton, even though he was getting killed. Yeah. He wanted to, they wanted to, and the reason they said that is because they had a slow start. If that changes this year, let's say the Bengals really do, even with a struggling defense and maybe not the best offensive line, start 4-1 rather than 1-4 this year? Are teams
the Jags, by the way.
Yeah. Are the teams going to look at that? Like, are teams going to then say, well, the Bengals switched it and they've had this last couple seasons of really slow starts, and then they played Joe Burrow more and their starting defense more, and it translated? That may be something that people want to use as an example in future games.
So many injuries to certain teams, and if they don't play their starters in the preseason, they end up healthier and they end up going on a better start.
Yeah. I think I would. I personally would play my. I mean, you only have 3 games. There's no that fourth game. I could. Yeah, right. That fourth game when it used to be 4 games. Mm-hmm. You can see the starters not playing that fourth game. Because they would play a half that first game, maybe a half the second, go into the third quarter of the third game or whatever it ended up being. Then little by little or year by year, it started being less and less. So I don't know. I wish they would have played our starters a little bit. I'm glad our backups kicked the crap out of Miami starters. That's awesome. I was very happy to see that. They did. They got after them pretty good. So that was a good thing. But I thought we needed the work. Especially when you heard, and we weren't there, so, we're going by what we've read, and we trust the guys that, put that out there, but they had trouble with Miami's defense. The starters did. So, that to me, I would have been like, all right, well, we got to see in the game. Although Mike McDaniel wanted that, and it didn't work out for him.
Yeah. Right. Now, you'd probably feel better as a Jags fan, at least, if you didn't see him, what you don't know.
And we don't know what that means for Miami. Does that mean they're going to be terrible this year? I don't know. They didn't look very good, but it's preseason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some guys look at it like that. It's just preseason. Mm-hmm. I still want to play. I still want to get out there and all that. But at the end of the day, it's just preseason. Now, in 2 weeks, it's going to count, and we'll see where we're at.
Yes, we will. I'm so glad that we have college football kicking off this weekend. We can talk about games, X's and O's, and then obviously the NFL very soon. On the other side, today's Terminix Pest of the Day awaits. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
If life blindsided you tomorrow, was your family struggle? I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial, and I can help. One call could protect your family for life. 904-885-9566. Harborstone Financial.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services. TysonInc.com.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS right here in Jacksonville is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE NeoGraft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione Law.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Now some Queen for your Monday afternoon. Always a big Chief Tire Monday. Around here, 6 locations around town and tons of 5-star reviews. They do such a great job. If ever I have any vehicle issues, I go see my friends at Big Chief Tire. It's time now for the Terminix Pest of the Day, is always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's Terminix. They take care of our house, all the pest control that we have. Any issues, all they are is a text away. You can also find them taking care of Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town. All right, y'all, stop putting out fake information about college quarterbacks.
Okay.
That is today's pest. The person who put out a post that Cade Klubnik had gotten in a car accident, and then the starting quarterback for Clemson, and then would not be able to use his arm whatsoever this season because of the car accident, or at least the first few months. Well,
someone random tweeted it. Okay.
Someone posted it on a message board, so they didn't tweet it, but they posted it on a message board, and of course now it's since been deleted. But thankfully, they were able to get a hold of his mom, and his mom immediately responded that no, that is fake news. But of course, as a parent, the first thing when you first hear about it, when someone brings it to your attention, I'm sure that terrifies you until you confirm that, yes, your son is perfectly fine.
You're probably like, why haven't I heard about this already? It's on a message board.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. And so we already, with Garrett Nussmeier, what was that? Just a couple weeks ago, people had started to put out that he ended up having a torn ACL in practice. And that was also not accurate. And it really all it was some tendonitis in his knee.
Yeah. We've had multiple Lagway ones this offseason.
Which the Lagway ones were a little more accurate, but they still were panic-inducing.
Well, the first one back in March or whatever was that he was having surgery on his shoulder, and
that's true. Some reports were saying that he was going to need to have shoulder surgery, and then other reports said maybe it's more of a core issue and it doesn't require surgery. So there were certainly some people with the incorrect information. And then, yes, we had him with the boot on, which that was accurate, but obviously that wasn't a long-term injury. But I almost jokingly said we made it through surgery gate and boot gate with DJ Lagway. But in the end, I just don't think that that's fair, obviously, to the quarterback or to their family and all the other
or
players.
The fan base.
All the players on the team. What if you're a teammate of Cade Klubnik and you read your friends send this to you, your quarterback just got in a car accident and now isn't going to be able to play football this season?
Yeah, I think that it's awful. And social media, that's unfortunately what it's turned into is people, and some people use it correctly, but a lot of people don't. And it turns into, let's see if I can get likes and tweets. And sometimes you can blatantly see it's somebody just trying to get attention, but it takes one person to see one tweet and then they make a graphic, because anybody can make a graphic now, and you say so-and-so, this happened, they're injured or whatever, and then it gets shared because a lot of people see something and they believe what they see on social media, and no matter what it is, and how quickly that turns into. There was one, this isn't an injury one, but a couple weeks ago, somebody made a fake graphic and it looked legit. It had a little logo on it and everything. But it was that Tyler, that Marcus Freeman announced Tyler Buckner was going to be the starting quarterback week 1. And 3 different people sent it to me. And I was like, that is not true. What? He's not even in the top 2. I think he's 4, honestly, on the depth chart for Notre Dame right now. And so that's just how quickly one person posted that thing, that graphic got to Reddit, that graphic got to Instagram, and the next thing you know, it's running away, and then people just believe it.
It sounds like the work of a low-end bookie to me. Throw this out there, see if people throw money the other way. But it is terrible. I mean, come on, you don't want to be that parent seeing that and be like, what? What's going on? And then, but people are idiots. People are cruel. They don't care. They'll put anything online to affected. But I don't know is it for clicks or is it to sway your bet or what? It just seems so weird. Like you throw these different things out here. Maybe it is a
betting guy.
It could be. I don't know. I'm just trying to think like what's the point of doing it other than getting the opposing fans riled up, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's just
bettors are trying to get some money on LSU.
The Clemson people think it was a South Carolina fan that was like trolling them.
Wow.
And
maybe.
But again, I wish that wasn't allowed somehow, some way. Like,
right.
That had to be a verified account before you could post something like that on a message board or like you said.
Oh, no, the message boards can put whatever on there.
That
sounds like they got to regulate those maybe. You know what I mean?
I mean, if more stuff like this happens, it does seem like it needs to be, maybe more regulated. All right, back to the Jaguars. We've talked a ton about different position groups and the 53-man roster. Wide receiver, I think, is another interesting one. Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, De'Ami Brown, Parker Washington. We know that those are the top four. Who's the fifth receiver to y'all at this point in time, Tom? I'll start with you. Okay, Austin Trammell because of special teams.
And he's making plays. I mean, I don't know how much they're going to use him on offense, but he's earned the right, I think. I like Bray Boy, too. I think he can return as well. And I think they do like him. Chandler, I think his first name
Chandler
is
Brayboy.
number 15.
He was specifically mentioned when it came to special teams a few weeks ago.
He looked good in practice. Like he would make some plays here and there. He could definitely run and move in pretty quick in space. But without Cephas, and I know Pancol, I wonder what's going on with that one. I just don't feel like, because I know they kept him out of the game. A lot of people think that's an automatic spot on the team. It could be
because he was resting his starters. So
it could be, but or it could be guys like him. Like we don't want him to get hurt out there in case we do want to try to move on from him. That type of thing. I don't know.
Or if we want him on the practice squad and don't want anybody seeing him
or
and snatching him.
But you'd think with Jackson they would have done that to Quentin Jackson.
Which we thought initially. But that kind of I feel like has changed the last.
I don't know. Look at as we looked at camp collectively. Did Eli Pancol make that many plays where you're like, he's number 5?
Not for me.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Irwin is my 5.
Trenton Irwin.
Yeah, okay. Trenton Irwin is my 5 probably. And then if there's 6, it's Trammell. That would be my thought process.
Yeah,
I just don't see where Irwin. What does he do on special teams? Can he run down? And maybe he can run down and cover. I don't know. I don't think Trammell's going to do that. Trammell's going to return if at all.
Yeah, really because of the game against the Saints where Trammell was in early with the starters, that's the one thing that led me to think, okay, maybe that's where they have him right now is as that fifth receiver. But I don't know that they necessarily have their fifth receiver on the team. Like I think they could be looking around. We heard reports that they were looking at a guy, Vele, and that's a bigger guy. And so certainly there's a possibility as all these guys are getting cut that they may look around and say, we'd prefer.
Don't have our fifth that we really like.
Right.
Absolutely, that fits everything that they need for that fifth receiver.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, because Trammell and Pancol to me are somewhat similar. Irwin, I'm not sure I've seen enough of Irwin to be able to say, okay, he's a game changer like Dennis Gardeck is defensively with special teams. I don't know that I've seen enough of him like Trenton Irwin to say, he's a game changer on special teams.
Yeah, you just didn't see any of Irwin at all last game. And, Trammell stood out once again. And Trammell, like I said, like we've said, it seems like he's been here for a long time. Because he makes plays in practice, and he has for a couple of years. So
Joe C calls him training camp Trammell.
Yeah, well, and you great point on the fact that just because they make the team now doesn't mean that they're not looking for guys to replace him. Because that could be the case. I just think, look, he's the second backup punt returner right now, right? He's second string, I think. I don't see him running down on punt. I don't know if he's big enough to handle getting off blocks or being on kickoff. I could be wrong. But again, number 5 and number 6 are not going to see much playing time. In part of the offense. Hopefully not.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I will say just quickly because I was curious. So it does say that Trenton Irwin historically played a role on the special teams when he was with the Bengals. That was his main role there. It said his value as a situational receiver and special teams contributor was established. He had a breakout year in 2023 as a wide receiver, but his role on special teams is a significant part of his value.
Okay, good. Well, we need that. Hey, listen, like we said earlier, if you're not going to start, you got to be great on special teams.
That is very true. All right, we've got one segment to go here on Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. It's 10 to next on 92.5 FM.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Hi, I'm John Haney from Clearwater Gutters and Drainage. After heavy rains, the problems are obvious. Mulch blown out of your beds, water standing around your foundation, and that fancy new crater back behind your bushes. Let Clearwater Seamless Gutters help you solve the problem spots.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters.
And drainage, too.
Find out more at clearwaterjacks.com.
Hey, we all know Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We are a community that takes care of one another. Hey, this is Tom McManus, former Jaguar. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We are here for you. We are veteran-owned and operated, and we are J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 3rd through 5th at Timuquana Country Club. Catch the new community concert series on the 17th hole after play, featuring country artists Low Cash and Love and Theft. Public parking is free with complimentary tournament access for military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get tickets now for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, starting at just $25 at Ticketmaster.
These are the last days for Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale. These are the biggest savings we could possibly offer, with everything on display discounted 40 to 50% off, ending Saturday, August 30th. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it, and the only way to do that is to give you huge deals at 40 to 50% off everything. And the sale ends this Saturday, August 30th. Diamond jewelry, colored gemstones, gold chains, everything. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Jacksonville Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coating, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
How do you know that your roof is ready for the next big storm? You don't. That's why you need to call me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We'll assess your roof and fix those issues before they become storm disasters. Visit BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roofing quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
I'm Frank Frangie, and you've heard me tell you how much success my daughter Amber is having with the Awaken 180 weight loss program. But Amber, maybe it's time you should tell them.
I think they'd rather hear from you, Dad. You're the radio guy.
Yeah, but in this case, you're the one doing all the work.
But that's the thing, Dad. It doesn't feel like work. The food is great. I never feel hungry. My coach, Mary, is so good, so encouraging. If you follow the plan, Awaken 180 really works.
Well, everyone I know that's tried it has said the same thing. The result is people not only look better, but they feel better. I've kind of known you your whole life, and I can tell you feel great.
I feel better than I have in years. I love that part. I feel so good. I have Awaken 180 to thank for that.
So you heard it from my kid, and you can feel great too. Just call 1-844-346-1800. That's 1-844-346-1800, or visit Awaken180weightloss.com and start your transformation today.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckac.com.
Have you ever dreamed of owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Well, now you can. This is Frank Frangie for the farm in Okefenokee, just an hour north of Jacksonville in Folkestone. With only 250 cabins at full build-out, it's a rare chance to live off-grid, but not alone, in a community grounded in nature, food, and purpose. The amenities include a 2,300-acre hunting lease. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I-9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
We have all sorts of NFL news, though. We've got cuts and trades and asking for the teams to trade them. A couple of recent ones, excuse me, Jacoby Myers has asked for the Raiders to trade him. Ooh. We finally got a Terry McLaurin contract today, 3-year. He's making, I think it's like $32 million he'll make a year, so good for Terry.
$96 million total.
Love seeing that. I love him as a player, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they traded Brian Robinson. This happened obviously over the weekend, but he's heading to the Niners. I think that's perfect for them. I think that for the Niners specifically, they're just one of those teams that a guy like Brian Robinson will work out very well. Did you see the video, by the way, where someone on their fantasy draft accidentally drafted him instead of Bijan Robinson?
Yes. Oh, no.
So it was like number 1 pick overall and accidentally drafted Brian Robinson Jr. instead of Bijan Robinson. Maybe now he's not, it's not Bijan, but maybe the Niners help you get a little bit more excited about that possibly. But yeah, and then we talked a little bit about it last week too. Michael Parsons, who during the game fell asleep on the the trainer table.
Trainers table.
And now today, one of the reporters said no sign of Micah Parsons during the open portion of practice to the media today. So they are very not happy with each other. The Bengals are back into talks with Trey Hendrickson. So all sorts of stuff happening in the NFL world now as we are getting very, very close to kickoff.
I feel like the Bengals would be idiots to not have Trey Hendrickson on their team, but I also feel like the Cowboys would be idiots not to have Micah Parsons on their team.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Those guys are game changers. Those are two players that, they are wreckers. They're game wreckers.
Yeah. Both of them are.
Yeah.
Mike you could just move all over the place. Trey does it from the right defensive end position and just wreaks havoc on left tackles all over the league. But Mike is good inside, outside, off the ball, on the ball. You can really send him anywhere.
Oh,
he's a force. So I think it's crazy. I don't know what they're doing out there. Eventually they'll get it done, I would think. But, Jerry Jones lives in his own world, and he's going to do whatever he feels like
Jones
doing,
world.
and a lot of ego involved in that. But hopefully he can set that aside and get one of the best defensive players in the game under. Come on. You put all that money into Dak Prescott. You're not going to be like, make sure your defense is that much better. You know what I mean? Like $60 million a year for Dak. Like, I don't know. I'd try to make the defense as best as I could. I'd make everything as best as I could if I want him to succeed. So he's just, I don't know. He's wild. Did you see what Mark Schlereth said about the Cowboys? They're the Jacksonville Jaguars, but with a better marketing plan.
Yeah. And obviously, the moment you say something like that, like people, obviously from around here, crushing, Mark Schlereth and everything like that. But, people love to say things that are going to get a rise out of people. So that kind of stuff doesn't surprise me anymore.
Well, the Jags do have more playoff wins than the Cowboys since 95.
Yeah. Well, look, it comes down to relevance, right? And he's basically taking a shot at Dallas, saying they haven't been relevant. They're not relevant. They're not America's team.
And they're not relevant. I agree. Other than the Jerry Jones.
Trying to keep them relevant.
Right.
And that was my tangent that couple weeks ago.
That's
His
right.
quote about that, where he was saying he pretty much admitted, like, if we're not in the news, I can make us be in the news in some form or fashion. It doesn't always have to be because we're winning, or it hasn't been because we're winning. It's because I can stir up things in other ways, and I can cause drama to make people talk about us, and that gets us money. That's pretty much what he said.
Yeah. Well, we've been more relevant than Dallas, I would think, in the past many years, right?
Yeah.
It was only 2 years. 2017 and 2022, but we'll take it, right? But I don't recall them. Look, like we said, they've kind of gone downhill as far as how people look at them. But with all that being said, you don't let Micah Parsons out the door.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
It's also, some people think it's easy to make fun of, not necessarily the Cowboys, but it's easy to make fun of Jacksonville. Like, people think that we don't have a ton of fans. People think that we're, just a small market team.
They don't know.
And they don't know.
But when you win, all that goes away. And we haven't been really relevant. So I don't look, I know Mark. I played against him. I know him. And we beat him in 96. They kicked the crap out of us in 97. I saw that going back and forth. But whatever. Take your shots, because when we start winning, we'll remember the shots. That's what it is. So hopefully we can get on that winning train and all this stuff goes away. And then just remember, what do they say? Keep receipts. I'm keeping receipts, whatever. But just remember what people said, and maybe you could throw it back in their face one day when we win a Super Bowl.
All right, let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
I don't want to throw anything in your face, Hayes.
Okay.
Feel free. Yeah. Anything in the name of physical comedy, I'm all for.
That's right.
That's why we love you.
Yeah.
That's why we love you.
I can see a pie going.
Oh, yeah. Love a pie in the face.
Who doesn't?
I mean,
The news that DJ Lagway will start on Saturday, I don't
Yeah.
think people would have been freaking out if he wasn't going to start because it's Long Island, but certainly ahead of USF, you would want that news.
yeah, it was interesting because it's good to have the confirmation. I would say, actually, if he had said today he's not going to start, then I think the panic level dramatically increases. Not so much from a beating Long Island standpoint. They could beat Long Island with, one of the backups, but then you start worrying about, all right, well then, like,
Was this more than what we were told?
is he going to be ready for South Florida? If he's not, then his debut going to be at LSU in week 3, which would be just
A nightmare scenario.
brutal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was good. I felt like he was going to be fine, but I understand why the reporters asked the question, and it was good to see Billy Napier confirm that he is going to start, considering, Florida won't even release a depth chart. I mean, my goodness, the portal's closed. You don't have to, you can, put some oars on there. Okay, yeah, we might make fun of the oars, but you got to at least have a depth chart. If you go through Florida's notes, they don't have one, and apparently they started this last year. So they don't do depth charts anymore, which is just madness, but it's where we are in college football. So
Secrets.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely
So,
no injury reports until, like you said, week 3.
that I
against
get.
LSU.
I
Yeah,
understand,
that
like,
too.
the injury stuff. That I understand. But you can't, you got to be
Let's
giving
just make
something to the
something
TV people. So whatever you're giving to the TV people,
Give to us.
give to
Yeah.
the media. I don't know what's so hard about that. I mean, again, it'd be one thing if, your right guard looks at it and says, oh, there's an oar here. I'm going to Tennessee. Can't happen now.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll get to all that. It'll be 2 hours of me complaining about Florida not having a depth chart. And we'll get to some Jaguars, too, coming up on the Frangie Show.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Hayes will be listening. And like I said, Hayes had Frank on this morning on Duval Rundown, so certainly breaking down the 53-man roster projection, and then Hayes has one on 1010XL.com as well. And we talked about it. I know Jaguars Today talked about it. It's going to be interesting tomorrow at 4 p.m. Certainly, like I said, I think we'll find or start to see some of those players that aren't going to be.
Maybe tonight, even.
Yeah, certainly. We've already seen a few in Wolford, one of the backup quarterbacks, Deantre Prince, and then, of course, Fred Johnson now to the Eagles. But that'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, for Tom McManus, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow. But don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show is next.